I'm Mikey Edwards, and this is my audience. I got my father, my mother, my Aunt Amy, and my Uncle Danny and Aunt Linda, who are Private Strauss's parents, and then my beautiful wife. Without further ado, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sergeant Michael Edwards, and I feel honored to have the opportunity to speak at today's award ceremony for Private First Class Khalil Strauss as he receives the Honor Guard Service Ribbon, a very special and rare award in the U.S. military that a soldier receives for completing 75 American flag presentations at various military funerals. Though I could talk all day in great detail about how wonderful it's been to work side by side with Private Strauss, in the Idaho Military Funeral Honors Program, we have this policy where award ceremony speeches are kept to under 10 minutes. So, you lucked out today. However, by sharing small examples of the hard work, dedication to duty, and selfless service of PFC Strauss, I hope to show you just how much he deserves the award that he'll be receiving today. But before that, a little bit about Private Strauss as well as the Military Funeral Honors Program. The Idaho Army National Guard Military Funeral Honors Program, simply put, is an organization that makes sure that whenever a veteran of the military or an active serving member of the military passes away, they are properly honored. We do that by sending 2 soldiers to that funeral where they will fold and present an American flag to their next of kin, as well as play on a bugle or trumpet the song Taps, which I'm sure you've all heard before. It's that famous military funeral song. And to do this, we need volunteer soldiers like Private Strauss. And my relationship to Private Strauss, not only am I the Southwest Coordinator of Military Funeral Honors in Idaho, so I'm his supervisor there, but I've also known him for quite a while because I am his cousin. And we are very good friends, and it's been just a blast working with him. PFC Strauss joined the Army National Guard in late 2021 as an aviation operations specialist in the 183rd Idaho Army National Guard Aviation Regiment. And he has been a part of the Honor Guard since November of 2022, right after he got back from that training to be an aviation operations specialist. Since then, he has not ceased to give his full efforts to honor his fallen brothers and sisters in the military, which brings us to my first point. Private Strauss has worked extremely hard, never complaining, during his service in the Honor Guard. To start, in 6 short months, he has done 80 different funerals. And lots of those were far away and nobody wanted to go to them. We sometimes get funerals requested in Twin Falls, Idaho Falls, McCall, which round trip can take 4, 5, or 6 hours. And while most people don't want to volunteer for those missions, whenever we needed help, Private Strauss was the first to answer and the first to volunteer so he could serve his fallen comrades in the military. Also, he has never missed an optional monthly training that we have, even after having had a full work day, because he wanted to better his technique at folding flags. And these trainings are from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. once a month. It's not always the funnest to go to these trainings, but he would make it to every one because he loved improving himself. However, if Private Strauss's work ethic has been impressive, his dedication to his duty has been inspiring. I rarely see soldiers in the Honor Guard as dedicated to their duty as Private Strauss. For one, he never breaks ceremonial composure. That means during a funeral, if something goes wrong, if he's put in an uncomfortable situation, he never shows it, and he always gives proper respect with his burying. There's one example of this when him and I were at a Middleton, Idaho funeral for a young man who had recently passed away in the military. At that time, the funeral directors had told us that the funeral was going to start at 12 noon, and so we stood in our post next to the casket ready to fold the flag in front of everybody. However, they didn't start the funeral until 75 minutes later, so we had to stand stock still just like this for 75 minutes. Most new soldiers that had been in as long as Private Strauss would have broke. They would have gone to the bathroom, they would have stepped outside to rest and relax for a minute because that was so long, but not Private Strauss, and I was so impressed and I was so proud of him in that moment. Additionally, even when Private Strauss makes a mistake, nobody knows it. There was one time at a funeral when we were supposed to exit stage left, but he accidentally exited stage right. We call this mistake running the victory lap because you have to walk all the way around the audience to get to the spot you need to go. But as he walked with duty and with purpose, and nobody would have thought that he had made a mistake going the wrong way. I'm sure Private Strauss would love for me to forget about that little mishap, but I want him to know that though I may forget that one, no promises. What I absolutely won't forget about his time in the Honor Guard is his selfless service that he showed every day. Selfless service is one of the 7 Army values that is taught to all soldiers at basic training, and Private Strauss has epitomized it in every facet of his Honor Guard service. For one, this uniform, the Army Green Service uniform, is the new uniform we do military funeral honors in. Many older soldiers, however, have the old one, the ASU, and we can't mix uniforms when we go to these funerals. Because Private Strauss did not want to miss out on funeral opportunities, he actually went and got ASUs just so he could go to more funerals, even though he did not have to. Also, we don't get paid any extra for doing multiple funerals in a day, and it's exhausting at times. But Private Strauss has done up to 4 funerals in one day and would consistently do multiple funerals a day just because he knew how important it was to the families of these veterans. Finally, Private Strauss has driven a total of over 5,000 miles across the state of Idaho to attend the 80 funerals that he has taken part in. And it's been 5,041 miles to be exact. I did the math. Through his hard work, dedication to duty, and selfless service, Private Strauss truly has shown great credit to himself and the Idaho Army National Guard as a whole. And I am proud to present to him the Honor Guard service ribbon, as well as this folded flag. PFC Strauss, Cal, thank you for your service. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your attendance. This concludes today's awards ceremony. Please have a wonderful rest of your day. And one more time, this is my audience. Right there. Thank you so much for listening.